This is a seminar called Keeping Kids Out of Prison. Organization started back in 1996. And what can be done about it? What the young people can do about it, what the parents can do about it, and concerned citizens in the community can do about it. We find that there are 4 primary reasons that young people enter the criminal justice system. Number 1 is making bad choices, wrong decisions, choosing not thinking about the consequences, not realizing that you can go to prison for something simple, getting a ride in a stolen car, or getting a hookup. And so we start to put on skits, plays, and events to show how easy it is to get in trouble. A lot of people leave home, young people, just to hang out and have fun with their friends. And they don't realize when they leave, sometimes it'll be 10, 15, or 20 years before they get back home for a simple thing that they did, following someone else. The next thing is number 2. Second reason, primary reason is lack of respect for authority. Lack of respect for authority and the rights of others. When you start, and it starts at home, when a kid refuses to obey his parents and disrespect his parents, there's not going to be a whole lot. The further you get away from home, the more severe the consequences are. The parents will probably, they don't spank that often now. They may take away your cell phone, deny you dessert. You go to school, the teacher may give you in-house suspension or suspend you for a couple of days. You go on a job, the employer might not promote you, and he might fire you. Go out on the street with the police, running your mouth. You can lose your freedom and you can lose your life. Sometimes police officers consider disrespect something as simple as he tell you to raise your hand and you start reaching for your cell phone. Right. Because first of all, he doesn't know you're reaching for a cell phone. And when he said raise your hand, you should be raising your hand. Because that's a dangerous job and he don't want you reaching for something. And sometimes it considered disrespect when you, police officer, stop you. As soon as he walk up to the car, you say, what you stopping for? What you stopping for? What you stopping for? Attitude. Wait. He'll tell you what he stopped you for. But so many times, when you aggravate people, you know, the Bible says a soft answer turns away wrath. When you start running your mouth and getting all upset, then he get upset. Anger breeds anger. So you need to just sit there and wait. I had a police officer stop me one time. He came and he said, you're going 47 miles with a 25 mile zone. And it was a 25-mile school zone. I lived in that neighborhood. And when he came up to me, I had just gotten on my insurance company. I said, I've been driving good and had a ticket or asking you raised my insurance. So they reduced it a little bit. Now when this police officer walked to my car and said that, I sat there because I'm thinking, not only am I getting a ticket, my insurance going up. He's going to jack it up real high. So when he said, you're going 47 and a 25 miles on, I just opened my mouth. I just sat there. I mean, he called me dead to the right. So I just sat there. What am I to say? He said, well, ma'am, is there any reason you're going that fast? I said, well, yes, sir. As a matter of fact, there is. I said, I saw that sign. I live in the neighborhood. It said 25. I slowed down to 25. But there's a light before you get to the school. When I stopped at that light, that was a long light. And by the time that light came, I had forgotten all about that sign. So, and that was the truth. It really was, because I don't want to go fast in the school zone. And he stood there, he said, you know what, I'm going to give you one. I said, praise God. Hallelujah. He asked me for driver's license. I was trying to get him. I couldn't get him. I said, here, you get him out also. But he gave me a warning. Now, I could have said a lot of things and fuss and argue, but there's no point. You know, even if you think the officer's wrong, take the ticket, take it to the court. The third primary reason is allowing somebody else to think for you. You just drive along, you see somebody, let's go rob that guy. Not thinking, okay, you go wrong. Let's go break in this house. Let's steal this car. Not thinking for yourself. God gave you a mind. You just use it. It'll help you stay out of prison. It'll keep you alive. And the fourth reason is going along to get along. I don't want my friend to be mad at me. I don't want everybody to think I'm a citizen. I want to be a big man. And when you get 5, 10, 15 years in prison, you have a long time to think about what friend will be mad at you. Because I guarantee you, those friends not going to come to visit you. They're not going to put money on your book. They're not going to even write to you. So when you keep in mind those reasons, bad choices, lack of respect for authority, allowing someone else to think for you, and going along to get along. Those are the 4 primary reasons that young people end up in prison. So you can make a decision before you leave home. And parents, we have books called Keeping Youth Out of Prison. There's a free book for every family that has a teenager. Free. So we don't want you walking with somebody. I had somebody come up to me and say, if my brother had this book before he got in trouble, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble. But now he had 3 strikes, you out. Well, you don't have that excuse today. Because every family here that has a teenager, you get a free book. You have to pay a fee for it. Amen. You don't even So, and when people get in prison, in jail, the thing that happens to them, a lot of times they get out on probation. And out on probation, you get out, you run out, and still they're going to enjoy themselves. Right now, with the same people doing the same thing. And the next thing they know, they're back in jail or back in prison. All the time they were going to serve, they were on probation, they served in prison. We are privileged today to have someone here who is a probation officer who works with people on probation. She's going to give you information to show you how to successfully complete your probation without ending up back in jail. Here's Mary Collins. Let's give her a hand.
Good afternoon, everyone. Everything that the doctor right here went over is everything that I had on my list with authority, respecting. All of those are key points. What I want to point out today to the young people is that a lot of bullying is going on in the school. You can be bullied or you can be the bullier. Either one of you guys can end up in the juvenile justice system. For the simple fact is that you get into a fight with somebody who's bullying you, and that fight is serious enough that the school calls in the police department, they will come and they will arrest you and bring you down to the juvenile hall. A lot of times when people get bullied, straight A students go to juvenile justice system for the simple fact is that they get to the point where they can't take it anymore. So they want to take it into their own hands. And when they take it into their own hands, it causes problems. It causes people to be injured. It causes the authority to get involved. It causes the teachers to get involved. And once that happens, they don't have nothing to do but to call the police department to come pick you up and escort you out of school. Back in the day when I was going to school, if a person had a fight, they took you to the principal's office and they settled it right then. Right now they're not doing that. They're taking you out, taking you to juvenile hall, and putting you, they have a record on you now. And 9 out of 10, if you go there once, because I do the house arrest. House arrest means that they're not going to keep you in juvenile hall. They're going to send you home with an anklet that you wear on your arm like this watch here. And it's programmed at your house with a box. And if you leave out of your house and you do something you're not supposed to do, that probation officer is going to come back, pick you up, and bring you back to juvenile hall. They have it set up like that because they know kids do not follow rules. So you don't follow rules, you're not back at home on time, you're not doing well in school because the probation officer look at your record at school. If you're not doing well in your classes, they're going to take you back to juvenile hall because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So it's very easy once you get in to get out. Because that's the way, and I'm going to be truthful, that's the way it's designed. In and out, that's the way it goes. Okay? So I'm the author of 4 books. Is the crime worth your time? At 6 p.m., do you know where your child is? This book talks about if your kid get arrested, what do you wear when you go into the courtroom? What kind of documentations can you bring into the courtroom? Who you can bring in the courtroom? It also has penal code. The codes that I put in the book are the most ones that kids are committing, like drug charges, assault charges, misdemeanors. So all of them are in the book, and it defines them by the penal code and the definition. All of my books are resource guides, so you can go back and review the questions to answer them so you can get the right answer to how the book is designed. The second book is called Let the Truth Be Told. This book has true stories from minors that was in juvenile hall. For example, how did you feel being in juvenile hall on your birthday? How did you feel being in juvenile hall if your parent or grandparent died and you couldn't go to the funeral? How did you feel as a parent, your child being in the juvenile justice system? How did that make you feel? Also, it has stuff in here about, say for instance, if the police stop you, what are you supposed to do? How do you address the police and how they're supposed to address you? Going back to this one, it gives you a Fifth Amendment right. Everybody has rights. All the young people need to know their rights when they're stopped by a police officer. And my third book is called Defining Juvenile Laws in Simple Terms. Basically, it talks about, in this book, it has stuff in there about human trafficking. It also has information about special education and what parents need to know. Say, for instance, if your child get arrested, go into the juvenile justice system. If they have a special education plan, they're still supposed to honor that special education plan while they're in the juvenile hall. Okay? And the last book that I just finished is called Madison Tell the Truth. Madison was 5 years old. She started stealing, going in the store with her mom, picking up candy, moved on up to packs of gum, candy, and then she got to the point where she started stealing makeup. Then she got to the point where she started going to Macy's stealing clothes. And then when she turned 14, she took her mom's BMW, went to the corner liquor store, grabbed a bottle of wine, sat in the parking lot, drunk it, got in the car, thinking she hitting the brake, hit the gas, and had a car accident. What did Madison do? Left the car in the middle of the street, ran home. Police knocked on the door and say, asked the parent, do you own a car, a BMW? She said, yeah, but nobody took my car. Come to find out, Madison's in the room like young people do. They listen. She's listening to what the police is saying to her mom, and then Madison runs out of the house, runs out of her room. Finally, she decided to tell the truth. Mom, I tell the truth. I did it. So Madison goes through the juvenile justice system, and the book talks about everything that she had to do once she got arrested. Okay? And I'm going to do a raffle real quick. Look at your number so I can sit down so we can get to the skit. If you have number 24, 24 in the house. No 24? Okay, what about number 7? Number 7. Hold up. Number 7? Okay, come on up. You gotta come on up here. That's number 9. Number 12. Number 12. Y'all didn't keep y'all number?
Oh, we got number 12 right there.
Okay, which one you got? Okay, take it. All right.
Is this 24 or is it 29?
That's 24, young lady. That's
No,
24.
it's Dr. Miller.
Oh,
Which book you want, Dr. Miller?
That's what I'm talking about. I want to stay out of jail.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a number in off the top of my head. Number 15.
Here we go.
All right, keep it. And if you guys have any questions afterward, you can see me after the skit. Thank you.
Actors to come and they have a skit to show you just how easy it is to get in trouble.
All right, yeah. I'm feeling real good today. I think I'm gonna light this joint up. See if I see my partner. Is that Anton?
It was good.
Hey, what's up with you,
man?
man? Hey, why don't you get in, man?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, we can, smoke a little something. Want a little hitty hit? Man. Man, I'm about to go do a little something for a little bit, just chill out with us, alright? We just gonna keep it moving, drink a little something. Take a little of this here. Oh, is that Petey Rock?
Hey,
What's up, Pete? Where you going, man?
nowhere right now?
Why not? Oh, we got somewhere you can go. Come on, jump in with us. Yeah. We gonna make a little quick stop. You wanna take a hit?
Nah, that's gonna mess me up. I'm going to college in the fall.
What you going to school for, man? Oh, damn, I'm tripping. What you going to school for, man?
Gotta get that education, man.
Oh, okay. Well, you in the wrong car today. Yeah, well, yeah, man. Oh, what's that, yo? Hey, put that down, man.
Pull it over to the curb.
Hold on, bro. Shoot, whoop, whoop. All right.
Hands in the air, everybody. Hands in the air.
Hey.
Driver, with your right hand, slowly reach down and take the keys out the car and throw them out the window.
Oh, man.
Everybody else, keep your hands where I can see them. Driver, reach down with your left hand, open the car door, and exit the car.
Hey, but y'all gotta be cool, all right?
Face away from me. Walk backwards to me. Stop. Drop to your knees.
Hey, see, that's kind of like...
Drop to your knees.
Man, I think this is unnecessary for a pullover. Like, this
Cross your ankles.
man.
Cross your ankles. Cross your ankles.
And that's good enough. You gotta accept that.
Cross your ankles.
Man, I'm sorry, that hurt. So you gotta...
Okay, then prone out on the ground.
I'm not doing all that. But, okay, here we go.
Front seat passenger. With your right hand, reach down, open the door, and exit the car.
There's a lot of brutality going on.
Face away from me. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Stop. Move to your left. 2 steps. Drop to your knees. Cross your ankles. Put your hands behind your head. Backseat passenger. Reach out with your right hand, open the door. Step out of the vehicle. Face forward. Walk back to the sound of my voice.
And why we couldn't just sit on the curb?
Stop. Drop to your knees.
This is embarrassing. That's crazy.
Cross your ankles. Interlace your fingers behind your head.
I'm gonna go to college soon.
Okay, this is how police officers do it. I know because I was one for 26 years. Especially, like Dr. Clara said, I want to go home every night. I don't know what they got. It's 3 of them and 1 of me. So I'm going to prone them out because my whole philosophy when I was a cop, I'm going home. That was my whole philosophy. I'm going home. Now, what I would do would be wait for backup and we would handcuff them. Now, this, you guys can get up now.
Yeah, we could sit on the curb.
No. See, it's 1 of me and it's 3 of y'all. I'm going home. I'm putting you at the disadvantage. That's how I went home every night. This one right here, when we interview him, he's the last one in, he's innocent. He didn't know what was going on. I think that probably Cedric Sr. was going to get into something that night. And that's how it happens. It's the company you keep, young people. In law enforcement, we have this theory. If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. The clothes you wear, it may not be fair, but this is reality. This is how we live. Young black men, you have a target on your back. Just getting up. Now you haven't even left the house, but you have a target on your back. You walk out, you got a hoodie on, your pants are sagging. That's how gangbangers dress. So all of those factors are working against you. The best thing to do is comply with what the officer says. Wait till they ask a question. Don't be digging for anything up under the seat, because I almost shot a kid one time, and he was a good kid. I'm walking up to his car and I'm saying, and you see I don't talk soft. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. His music was so loud, he didn't hear me telling him that. His dad had always told him, keep your wallet under the seat. He was reaching for his wallet to show me his license, which his dad had told him. But I hadn't asked for that. All I wanted to see was his hands, because hands kill. If I can see your hands, I'm reasonably sure that I'm going home that night. So when I got up to his car, my gun was right at his head. He's thinking, I'm an over-aggressive cop. I'm thinking, why are you not putting your hands up? When he rolled the window down, I knew why. Because the music was on. He couldn't hear me. That boy almost died because his music was too loud. We both learned a valuable lesson that day. I realized that young people don't do what they always should. And music, being too loud, can prevent you from hearing instructions. And that's what police officers want, is for you to follow their instructions. Don't reach for anything until I ask you to. Now, why did I have Cedric throw the keys out the car? Because if they decide to get away, they're going to have to go on foot because the keys are over there. It's much easier and much safer for me, especially when you're working a one-man unit. Are there any questions that I can answer for any of you? Yes, sir.
So police officers, when people try to go, when people at night try to steal, when people are at night are not at the store, and then some bad people go inside the store and try to steal everything, and then all the other people get back inside the store and they see nothing there but just some keys.
I think you mean, do we sometimes get good people mixed up with bad people? Yes, we do. Because we have to sort out the facts, but we have to handle the situation that is in front of us. Then we can sort it out when we get back to the station and they talk to the detectives.
And when you drive super fast, the police officer is behind another car, behind the prisoners. Then the police officers drive way faster past the other car. Then they can see that the car is driving a shortcut, and then the police officer will take a shortcut around the building and then see the prisoners.
Well, in the academy, when they send us through the academy, they teach us driver training. If you don't pass driver training in the academy, you do not graduate.
And you don't have a wallet, and you don't have a driver's license and a wallet, then you don't even have to drive.
You're right. You should not drive without a license. Yes.
What happens when they don't follow directions of the officer? What is the end result?
The end result is they could be dead. Amen. That's the reality. Because like I said, you know, there are like 10% bad cops. Like there are 10% gangbangers in our community. We know our kids are not all gangbangers. I will tell you, doing 26 years in law enforcement, I worked with some knucklehead road cops, but the majority were hardworking people. We were out there to do a job to keep the community safe. But I don't tell you black people, you guys don't help us help you. Y'all know who Pookie and Ray Ray is. Y'all know who's criming. You guys won't even call the We Tip line, because I know snitches get stitches, but you can call the We Tip line and tell us who the bad actors are in your community so we can get them out. It's a two-way street. I as a police officer can only do so much with a lack of information. Now what could happen is, like Dr. Clara said, there is a pipeline to prison program geared for our black people. So why are we falling into it? Things like this are excellent in showing you what you should and should not do, how you should and should not respond to police officers. But what I would suggest, since everybody thinks police officers are all wrong, sign up and go on a ride along and see what we go through in a night. I'm just asking you to do one shift. I worked 3 different patrol stations. I worked Lenox, I worked Marina Del Rey, and I worked West Hollywood. So I had a cross section of all different type of people. And trust and believe, our people gave me more problems than anybody else. I stopped a guy one day just because he had a rear tail light out and his registration was expired. I was just gonna warn him and tell him, you know, hey, why don't you get this fixed? I could, by authority of California, he was in violation of section 4008, I could have impounded his car. I don't want to do that because I know we don't have money to do that. He jumps out the car and tells me he's going to rearrange my da-da-da-da face. And I'm like, I don't think so. And so he's coming toward me and I tell him to stop. He's a big guy. I was like 30 pounds lighter then than I am now, so I wasn't really big. And so he's charging me. And so I drew down on him. I told him, take another step, I will shoot you. He tells me, you can't shoot me, I'm unarmed. And Dr. Milligan and Claire would tell you, I have this marvelous sense of humor. So this is what I told him. I said, when I write the report, you had a gun. I'll be tried by 12, you'll be carried by 6. What's it gonna be? He decided he'd do it my way. Now, I fall back, I call for backup. The guys get there. Not only do I take him to jail, now I impound his car. All he had to do was just say, okay, sister, thank you for the warning. He might not have liked my face, but I've grown accustomed to it, like it was. Yes, sir.
With your past experience, what can we do to try to inspire more of our young men and women to join the force? Because the more people that look like us on the force, the better off things will be. That's why I went into law enforcement, because it wasn't enough of us then. I've been retired 13 years this week. There are fewer now than when I went on. The problem is we need to start training our children to be cops at this age, because there are things that will prevent us from getting there. Bad credit is one of the #1 things. If you have to say, well, why? Most people have bad credit. That's true, but if you are a cop with bad credit, you are susceptible to taking a bribe. And we've all heard of people that have gotten out of jail because somebody rearranged the paperwork and gave them a release date when they should have had a hold. So that's why, that's #1. The company we keep walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, it's a duck. Pull your pants up. Now I spent an enormous amount of time in Crenshaw High School, because that's my alma mater, teaching kids the same thing I'm teaching you now. Make sure that the people that you associate with do not destroy your future. Destroy it or derail it. It can happen easily. Be that nerd. Go home, study. Because when they over there capering, you're not going to get caught up. And it's a revolving door for our kids. Look around the nation. Read the paper any day. White people get slapped on the wrist and we get 30 years. The justice system is just that, just us. It's not fair, but we can prevent that. We have to think smarter. We don't have to do things the hard way. Watch who you associate with. I know that the style is sagging, but if they knew what sagging really meant, they wouldn't wear sagging pants. They pull them up and they'd have a belt on. Tell them what it means.
Okay, sagging originally started in the prison And the reason they would make guys sag their pants, that meant you were taken. Another man in there was sexualizing you whenever he felt like it, and that showed that you belonged to him. Now, why anybody would want to do that, I have no idea. My pants would probably be up to here because they would not be sagging. But that's what it means. Yes, sir.
As a former gang member and person that was in prison, people, like I come from, people know it. We know it, we still do it. It's like we know not to commit crimes, we still do it. It's a mindset. People's mindset ain't right. They don't want to do right. They don't want to do the thing that can help them. They want to do the thing that's going to put them down.
You know what? And I wish Clyde was here because there is a brother that I used to work with on the sheriff's department that knows that. So he started a program called Imagine 21. But what's his direct program, Dr. Miller? At any rate, what he does is he takes gang members through this 10-week course and he breaks down the reasons you don't change the behavior. He has gotten people jobs at the refinery, gotten men good paying jobs. Because the problem is, if you go back to the same community and hang with the same people, you're going to do the same thing. But if you break the cycle, you get a good paying job, then you feeling good about yourself, you able to take care of your family, you manned up. You don't have to be out there climbing. Why can't I think of the name of that program? But anyway, his name is Clyde. What is Clyde's last name? What's his last name, Dr. Milken? Terry. Clyde Terry. And his program is based out of Michael Beckworth's church up on Slauson, just west of La Cienega. I can't think of Beckworth's church name right now. Agave. Okay, just ask for Sergeant Clyde Terry's program, and I went through the course myself so I can actually tell people what it's like. It's an awesome program. And when you see, because the first couple of days, we had some hardcore ex-gang members in there that had done time in San Quentin. And you know they don't want to hear anything from anybody, but their probation officer mandated that they go. When graduation day rolled around, these men had been broken down and built back up, and the tears were flowing because they recognized they now had a future and a hope. So I would suggest, I'm sorry I can't think of the name of that program, but if you go to Pastor Beckworth Church and ask for Sergeant Clyde Terry, they can link you up with it. Yes.
That wasn't a question, I was making.
No, I just want to ask you a question, please.
Yes, sir.
The people and the brothers in your community that you talked about, is that attitude the way it is because of lack of opportunity? If somebody gave them something to do something different, do you think they would do something different?
It's never a lack of opportunity. The person always has the opportunity to choose to do everything. It's a choice and a decision not to do it.
But see, that's why I would love for you to go to Clyde's class, because he does a paradigm shift on people's thinking where you want to do better and want to be, okay, like, I just had a birthday Monday. I'm 68. I don't want to have to worry about a young, handsome, strong man like you knocking me in my head, taking whatever little I have worked for. We need warriors in the community. We need you guys to man up and protect us from outside entities. We got enough to deal with the current administration and all this other stuff, not to have to worry about our own people preying on us. Yes, yes, sir.
Can you, one more time, tell us for my son's sake, what shouldn't a gentleman do? What should the do?
Okay, and I know it's stylish, so don't jump all over me for saying this, but I'm saying no sagging pants. Put a belt on and have it on your waist. That's number one. I know I got on my own hoodie today. I know that it's fashionable, but mine isn't on my head like this. Mine is hanging behind me. We need to be able to see who you guys are. like I said, when I first told my mom I was gonna be a cop, she was having fits because I was her only child. I sent you to college for what? But it was a calling for me. God put me there. A lot of times, gang members will never know the butt kicking they didn't get because a black cop was there. We had the pressure from the community and we had it from our white counterparts. Because they never, yes, Dr. Miller. They never knew what we were going to do. So, you know, I'd roll up to a call and brother and sister come out and start calling me a pig, a sellout, and an aunt. I didn't know you when I woke up that morning. That's not the name that's on my birth certificate. You called me out here. I came to solve a problem because I didn't have a problem. And you would be surprised at the level of disrespect that officers receive. Yes, young man.
So when officers,
I'm gonna arrest him in a minute.
and then no way to each other, they fathers are not going to do that, like stealing and stuff, like the thing that you said. Most cops doesn't have no prisoners yet.
Well, that's our job. Every day when we go out is to arrest bad people and get them to prisoners. And when we start out at the beginning of shift, we don't. Because we're just in the street. We have to respond to radio calls. That's part of our job. But we also have to do surveillance to see who's in the area that doesn't belong in the area. So that you seniors can go in your house without worrying. You pretty young people don't have to worry about getting kidnapped, and you middle-aged people don't have to worry about getting robbed. So that's our job. We do a lot of service-oriented policing, and we do a lot of crime suppression, because that's what they paid me to do, to ensure that the citizens that I serve were safe. Okay, this gentleman, this lady, and then you.
Being in the outreach ministry my life.
I'm sorry, being where?
Being in the outreach ministry my life. I've dealt with a lot of people. In fact, this dude here is my life. So, and the Lord saved me.
Amen.
So, what I found out in answer to your question is a lot of them are out there because of the example laid by their parents. A lot of them don't go to church, a lot of them dealing drugs, a lot of them smoke weed, and that's the lifestyle they picked up. So they just imitate their parents. And if the parents are not teaching them to go to school, matter of fact, because my ministry is made up of a lot of this kind of example. Even some young ladies, now they're saved, and God has used them in a great deal, but some of the parental guidance, they even learn tricks how to shortchange the welfare system, a whole bunch of stuff. So this is what influences. The Bible can't lie. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it.
Don't forget spare the rod, spoil the child. That's part of the problem. And I know that the law says today you're not supposed to spank your child. But any smart cop knows the difference between disciplining a child, that's from the waist down, where you tear that behind and those thighs up. Abuse is waist up. You're not supposed to hit a child up here because they're young, they're still growing. You could damage something in here permanently. Now, I'll give you one really quick funny story. Okay, I'm done.
Then, we just got 1-2 minute skit that she needs to show to get in trouble. And when this is over, Ms. Rita be here, and there's nobody else coming in this room. Will you stay and answer a few questions for me? Is that all right, you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. The law said don't spank them. That's why I didn't spank mine. I beat They're going to do one more, it's just a minute, they're going to do one more skit that shows you some common things that young people do And most people, I talked to a lot of adults, and they told me that they did the same thing and they thought it was all right. They said, there's something wrong with this, so just watch this little skit. You guys enjoying this? Yeah. Good information? And you got a book. We sent this information out to hundreds of churches and organizations. So I want to thank Pastor Shig for bringing his young people out. Yeah, here it is. Oh, that's up. Hey, did you find everything you were looking for?
Yeah, just that shirt. It's pretty
Okay.
nice.
I can let you have it for $10.
Yeah, that shirt's 20. How you make Okay, yeah, I'll take that.
That'd be $10.70.
Okay, here's what happened, hold on. He bought a shirt. It was $20, and she said to him, I'll let you have it for $10. Okay? The shirt cost $20. He looked around and she looked around, so he gave her the $10. So he's leaving the store. I'm the security guard. Hold up. Let me see your receipt.
Oh, yeah, I just thought of that. She didn't even talk about her price. I just realized why you stopped me. I looked on her bag.
Let's go on to the office. Okay? You see what happened? When I stopped him, he said, oh, I just recognized she didn't charge me the right price. Now you think I'm gonna believe that? He gave her the money, she gave me the change, right? So I'm taking him to the office so you know what the end is gonna be with that. What did he do? He just stole something. That's called hookup. And it's called, somebody say hookup. That's a hookup, and that's what people do every day. You go to McDonald's, you buy a soda and a hamburger. The person ring you up, she charge you for the soda, and then put the hamburger in the bag. That's a hookup. You working at Target, your friend come through to buy a Coke. Coke is $85. And most times, as Clara said, the person who took the hookup didn't even ask for it. He didn't ask her to give him a discount. She just decided that on her own. I can let you have it for $10. That's how people would do you, and because you take it, you just stole somebody's product. Does that make sense? So we wanted to show that one, and when I tell adults about it, they laugh. They say, oh, I did that all the time when I was working at the law. I ain't gonna call my name because some of y'all may be in here. But it happens all the time. So what the picture she's trying to point out, you know, it don't take but a few minutes to get in trouble. But it takes a whole lot of attorney fee to get out. So these are just some basic things.
And that's based on the true story. Young woman didn't ask for the hookup. Somebody gave her the hookup. When she came to court to explain to the judge, I didn't ask for it. I had the money to pay for it, and it didn't make any difference. The person who gave her the hookup got 2 years in jail, in prison. She got 2 years. The judge said, whatever I gave her, I'm gonna give you 2 years out of her life for a hookup. And it was probably about $60 that she got, paid $10 for it. These are real life cases. The case you see here, the person riding in the car in the back seat who didn't smoke the marijuana and didn't drink the beer, in court, he got the same amount of time as the other 2 people. That's the way it works. Group of people commit a crime, usually they all get the same time. The court policy is, if one get 5, you all get 5. One thing I want to mention, I want to talk about the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment right. The right. The 5th Amendment is the right to remain silent. And a lot of people don't know what that means when they say, hey, you have a right to remain silent. They think that means you have a right to talk. And that's what I concluded, because police officers anything you say can and will be used against you. Now, if what you say can be used against you, what you should say? You should say anything. But as soon as the police officer stops you, understand that right? Yeah, Junebug did it. Baby did it. And all that is used against you. You ain't take it back once you say it. So when they tell you have a right to remain silent, to use against you, take their word for it and remain silent. The police officer doesn't have a right to search your vehicle if they stop you for just a traffic violation. You run a red light, they have a right to give you a ticket. If they don't see any evidence of drugs or any crime or anything like that, they have a right to give you a ticket. They have a right to search your car. So if they ask you, may I search your car? You have a right to say no. May I search your person? You have a right to say no. But you don't need to say, I know my rights. I know what I have to do. First thing you can include with somebody say, I know my rights. They really don't. Because your right is to be silent. That's your right. Fifth Amendment, Fourth Amendment, to search your car. Fifth Amendment, the right to remain silent. The Sixth Amendment is the right to a trial by jury, the right to have an attorney represent you. So if you don't have money for an attorney, the court will appoint an attorney for you. You have a right to a trial by jury. Once you know those rights and exercise those rights, you don't have to do a lot of talking. And I want to point out something about talking. There's a scripture in the Bible, James 1:19, says, let every man be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to wrath, or slow to get angry. So that means that you should learn to keep your mouth shut. You should learn to listen and don't get angry too quick. That will change your life. So many times people, I go to jail and I visit people. I started not to get in that car. I knew this guy was a crook. I knew the car. I knew the... No. Make a decision before you leave home that you're not going to jail. When you see it going on the wrong road, just walk away. And that's what you have to do. So don't talk too much. Listen more. Don't get angry. Because anger breeds anger. When you start complaining and fussing and arguing, the last 3 times I was stopped by cops, I didn't get a ticket. I didn't get angry. I mean, I didn't have no defense. I was speaking. I couldn't say, well, I wasn't really going 55, I was going 45. No, I was going 55, So if you argue, it's just going to make it worse for you. A lot of times when people run from the cops and try to get away, and by the time they catch them, they'll beat them to a pulp. So don't talk too much. Make a decision before you leave home, and don't follow people who you know you're doing wrong. Any questions?
Don't follow the last part.
Yeah, don't follow people you know.
Don't follow.
Don't follow what?
Don't follow what? That's clear?
The last part of your sentence. You missed the last part that you said.
Don't follow someone. Don't follow others.
Don't follow people doing
Don't follow people.
Don't follow people when you know they're wrong. When you see that they are wrong. If you see somebody in a stolen car, they often ride, everybody comes up. Whatever a person is doing that's wrong is against the law. When the police arrest them, they don't have time to sort it out. They don't know what happened. Let's take everybody to go to court. When you get to court, a lot of times I can tell you that a lot of people end up taking a plea, going to jail. They haven't committed a crime, but then it's supposed to be they prove innocence, but to prove them guilty, that's still. That's not fair. You're guilty to prove innocence. So that's why you get in the car with somebody who committed a crime. If they arrest you, you're the one gonna have to prove that you're innocent. In many cases, you have nothing to prove you're innocent, and they accuse you. Most people don't have a lawyer. They have a public defender. Public defender is a good lawyer. I work in a public defender, but they have so many cases They don't have time to do all the investigations. They don't have people to do all the investigation that needs. And so many times when you're accused of a crime, that's all there is to it. People end up taking the place. So if you're in the wrong place, wrong person, you know it's wrong, you go to jail. You spend the time, you get out, you go right back to the same people, doing the same thing, you go in the same place. That's right. Okay. All right, anybody have a question?
What would have been the repercussions of the young man in the car who didn't know that, like Cedric? What would have happened to him? Cedric. Yeah, what would have happened to him?
That's a 2K, based on 2K. You have somebody, you have 4 people, 5 who have him in a car. The car is stolen. In the actual case this is based on, there were 4 people in the car. The car was stolen. There was a pistol under the seat that they didn't know about. There was crack cocaine in the glove compartment that they didn't know about. But they had the marijuana and they had the beer. There was joyride. This is called joyride. You steal a car and just ride, have fun, drive fast until you wreck it or run out of gas. That's joyride. And so in this particular case, when the police stopped the car, and then just like she did, get all down the ground. He searched the car and he found all of it. So every last one of them was charged with all those crimes. Every last one of them went to jail. And this was based on Georgia law. California, you know, for stealing a car, you get 3 years. In Georgia, you can get 10. So they got 5 years. The judge didn't give them a break. They got, each one of them got 5 years for stealing the car. He said, well, the guy who was in the car stole the car. When they got in, he was already in the car. They didn't steal the car. When you stole the car, the one who drove, others who got in, they received stolen property. They benefited from stolen property. So they get the same amount of time that he gets. So you said, I didn't know the car was stolen. The law said, you knew or you should have known. And so either way you look at it. So when you jump in a car with people riding around, and you don't know, especially when you driving a Mercedes, you're 16 years old, who gave you a $60 car? You know this guy's family, nobody in his family has a Mercedes, but they get in and say, I didn't know it was stolen. They won't work.
If Cedric's parents had some money,
if Cedric's parents had some money, could they have gotten him out? Because he really was ignorant of the fact of anything that was going on. So, like if they had gotten a good attorney, if his parents would have been able to get a good attorney, could they have gotten Cedric free?
What? If you have enough money, you get an attorney, and they got enough resources and the do a lot of things, sometimes they can get you out even if you're guilty. But most of the time when these people are arrested, you're going to jail, period, paragraph. Because you get in the car with somebody, you can't prove, the police officer see people in the car, smoking marijuana, drinking beer, the car is stolen, they're not going to sort that out. So, in the case, the boy did go to jail. In many cases, I can tell you from experience, I sat in the courtroom watching the people that have not done anything, they end up going to jail. So who you hanging with, what they're doing, you're going to get what they get. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Every household has a teenager, whether the teenager's here or not, you get a free book.